Welcome to the highlights of the second day of the Cornhill Test match at Old Trafford, with the West Indians beginning at 273 for 5. Gordon Greenidge batted right through yesterday for 128. Winston Davis came in as night watchman. A very important match this for Davis. He's in as a replacement for Malcolm Marshall. If he can make runs and take wickets, it'll put pressure on the West Indian selectors to leave him in the squad. 273 for 5 then at the start. And we pick up play now in the fourth ball of the second over. The man taking strike is Gordon Greenidge. Botham has bowled a wide, and the bowler now is Paul Allen.
That's over the top of slip, and Botham looks down. I think he's a little bit upset about the light. Don't think he saw too much of that. But we've seen Botham snatch chances like this, but never had a price of laying a hand on it there.
There's a good stroke. Absolutely square of the wicket, so much so that Don Oslier had to leap out of the road.
That ball will have only pitched literally a couple of inches towards the leg side off Paul Allen's intended line, and that's cost him 4 runs.
Well, I've heard a great deal, I think, this season about Viv Richards, what a magnificent player he is, but slowly coming to the conclusion that this fellow Gordon Greenidge is very far behind. Beautiful shot through the offside. And some great work in the field. Well, that's brought the biggest round of applause of the morning, as you would expect, from the local boy, Graham Fowler. It really was a magnificent piece of work there. So many people would have given that away for 4. But tremendous enthusiasm and application there. Takes Winston Davis into double figures. He's on 12. And again, that's beautifully timed. Clipped away through mid-wicket. And we needed a Fowler there, I think, to pull that one up. A bit too quick for Nick Cook. So Greenidge roll 140s, 142 to his name. So it's Botham again. He's not bothering to run, he knows that's 4 from the moment it left the bat. It's already over the ropes. That was a short one, intended bouncer probably, and it got the cross-back wallop. That's 4. Short, hooked away, no bother at all there for Greenidge. He'll whack those away all day as long as anybody's foolish enough to bowl there to him.
Much too short, especially to a man in form like Gordon Greenidge.
Well, the chase for Fowler. And I think they've got to back him again. Yes, well done. So 151 on the board now for Gordon Greenidge. And surely on the way to another double century. He swung Norman Cowan's away. In fact, that is about the length for anybody having a good swing at it.
Not that bad a ball. But the big heave.
.37 now to Winston Davis. And, be a couple more there. Wasn't a bad shot. Pull that wide mid on, kept it down. Should just be 3 runs this time.
Another excellent shot here. See how still he keeps. Keeps his head still.
Well, Nick Cook is coming on from the Warwick Road end, busy sorting out his field. Decided at the moment. There's a very deep mid-wicket out on the boundary. There's a deep square leg. Botham stays at slip, is about to be joined by Gower plus a short leg. And, if he does decide to have a swing, it's a brave man at short leg there. Quite sure Harold Bird's set in the field at the moment. See? He's brought Pocock a bit squarer. Well, all that mission on the lakeside field, short one outside the off stump, and that's whacked away for 4. Six now to Winston Davis. Judged that very finely. Couldn't have been missing by more than an inch or so.
I think we'll find this is very close indeed. About an inch at the most.
1 more run added to take the score at lunch up to 342 for 5. 47 minutes lost in that pre-lunch session because of bad light. Greenwich 151 and Davis 47 not out. What about that from a young who needed runs today to keep himself in this West Indian squad? A very, very good performance for a man listed to come in at number 11. Well, play began promptly after lunch. We pick it up now with the second ball of the second over. Pat Pocock is the bowler and Greenwich is taking strike. Top spinner from Pocock.
And we haven't had a wicket by a slow bowler yet, but of course they would only really expect to come into their own in the second innings if there is a second innings. That's the problem.
It's going to be safe. Just a yard in it for Chris Broad. He made good ground. So gives Winston Davis his half-century. That is a very good innings from the man listed to come in this West Indian lineup at number 11. Nick Cook. Well done, well fielded. Saved runs there, Ian Botham. Just flicked Downton's gloves on the way through. Oh, it's gone down, and what disappointment for Nick Cook. They're never easy, but it was straightforward enough to Alan Lamb, away to his left-hand side. Davis didn't really get hold of it properly.
179 now to Greenwich. A typical Greenwich shot. It's 4 from the moment it left the bat, not even bothering to run. It wasn't all that a bad delivery, in fact. Just dropped fractionally short. It was the movement here of Greenwich who made it into a scoring shot. That's beautifully placed. Well, a very classy shot there by Greenwich. Knew what he wanted to do with that ball, picked his spot perfectly. And it's 4 more, and the 400 comes up. 400 on the board for the loss of 5 wickets, with Greenwich now just 3 away from 200. So Pocock to bowl again. Greenwich on 196. That's the one he's looking for. That's going to bring him 200. Davies has sprinted the second. He's going to turn round now. Here he comes. Up goes the bat, and Gordon Greenwich, for the second time in this series, has gone on to a double century. A simply magnificent performance, and Pocock the first to shake him by the hand. Really has developed into certainly one of the best players in the business. So exactly 200 out of 408 for 5. 502 minutes he's batted, been there ever since the start, seen 5 wickets fall, and I can't recall him giving a chance. Norman Cowans has got the job now. Try and break this partnership. There's the full toss, that's 4 runs. A nice friendly delivery. And we might well see another spurt from Winston Davies now.
It really was an excellent shot, because they're not that easy to pick up. But he hit that like a rocket.
Six of the best. And an umbrella or two up at the moment. Coming up towards tea time, 3:25 now. Tea at 3:40. It's only a very, very light drizzle. Oh, that's a waste of time to Greenwich. That has gone at a fantastic rate off the middle of the bat.
And this is the best hook shot of the day, because look at the footwork. He's really moved on to that.
4:37 for 5. They've seen no English success. Here's Pocock. Bowling. And he thoroughly deserved that, Pat Pocock. At long last, he might say. And in fact, he's probably saying so. What a good innings from Winston Davies. Within 23 of his century. That might sound a lot, but it's a great achievement for a number 11 to come in as night watchman yesterday evening and bat right through until just before tea the following day. Must be a very pleased young man. Into the side in place of Marshall, who is injured, and out now at the 77, bowled by Pat Pocock, who thoroughly deserved a success.
And one of those innings that will be remembered any time a tail-ender or a night watchman comes out and does something similar. They say, well, remember Winston Davies at Old Trafford in 1984.
And he's done it again, so he's got 2. And you're absolutely right, Ted, that this is well deserved, and it often happens to a spinner who toils for nothing over after over, and then gets a little bit of joy at the end.
And all Pat's work a little bit quicker, and he's got away to have a go at it, and he's done him for pace.
Tickled away down the long leg for a single. Takes Gordon Greenwich on to 215. So just going past that undefeated double century at Lord's, his highest score in Test cricket.
Once again, Paul Terry has hit. That's the second time in this innings, once in the knee and once under the heart.
Slow and short, and Nasty blow there for Paul Terry.
Four more to Harper, the sweep shot this time, and he goes on to 12. Nick Cook now bowling to Harper. Oh dear, another misfield. That's 2 in this little session leading up to the 7 o'clock finish. First of all Cook and then Cowans. Cook this time the sufferer. 470 for 7 now, and Harper's gone on to 17. Cowans, man going round at deep backward square. And got his hands to that. He just flipped away over the boundary. And he's gone. Pocock has struck again. This time it's Greenwich for 223. And Pat Pocock now is having quite a good day. Greenwich goes after a wonderful innings for the West Indies. He's batted almost 2 days, less the stoppages for bad light. A fine innings to follow on his double century in the Lord's Test match.
Well, Gordon Greenwich once again rescuing West Indies when they're in terrible trouble at 70 for 4. Port Downton, old Pocock, 223. A stupendous innings. 584 minutes. And here's the dismissal. That just drifting on. And Gordon Greenwich going for the late cut, just getting an outside edge. Well taken by Paul Downton.
And bowl him round his, or behind his pad, between his legs. But Nick Cook, the other spinner now, has some reward for a lot of hard work. 9 down for 471. And even more so now, it would appear the England openers maybe have maybe put through a torrid time out there in the last quarter of an hour of the second day.
Well, unusual way to go. He's just got round his legs there. Wouldn't have pitched in any rough. There is some turn now, definite turn in this pitch. Pat Pocock's been turning it. He's just crept round the leg stump.
Now, a conference between Gower, Botham and Pocock there. They won't be too concerned about picking up this last wicket. I'd suggest the conference will be to try and find some way of keeping Harper and for 10 minutes. Then they can try and knock them over. But in the meantime, it'll be a question of trying to bowl tightly, not take the last wicket, so that Fowler and Chris Broad aren't put through the hoops for 3 overs by Garner, Holding and young Winston Davis. Pocock now to Harper. That is a terrific hit. That's over the fence and back into the seats. Oh, what a smash.
Well, Harper's been probably thinking about that for a few overs and just waiting for the right ball. And that one he really released, let it go.
He's hit that way up into the bleachers. .500 up for the West Indies. First time they've gone past 500 on this ground since 1963.
Well, we've been all waiting for Joe Garner to really release the full swing. He certainly let that one go. A wonderful sight.
It's beautifully caught by Paul Terry. He's been hit twice in that position there, and yet he was still going forward at the end of the innings. And well bowled for Pat Pocock. 4 wickets to him, picking up Joel Garner right at the end. All out for the level 500, right on the dot of 7 o'clock, and a very good catch for young Paul Terry at the end. Got a firm stroke there, and very well caught. His hands were going back. Did everything right, young Paul Terry. Yes, a fine catch and very good bowling from Pat Pocock, who finished up with 4. But the innings dominated by Gordon Greenidge, 223. Davis, a very good knock for 77, and a good innings there from Roger Harper, 39 not out. The dominant figure, though, out there today, Gordon Greenidge. He made a double century at Lord's and a double here. His stroke play was quite memorable on both occasions. Today's innings is on the left as you look at your screen. Lord's, the different shaped ground, on the right. And the remarkable feature, I think, is that both innings have been scored in pretty much the same way. He was very strong on the drive, a great cutter, as we know, and he's forcing the ball away off his pads at both ends, but he's hardly hit anything away through extra cover in either game. He's a very straight player, strong off the pads, and very good square of the wicket on the offside. And for him, today has been very, very memorable because he became one of the few players in the history of the game to hit a double century twice in a Test match series.